If you're sick and tired of your crappy color grades, I've made this video just for you, because I'm going to show you my super simple color grading workflow that I use for every single situation. Bright daylight, cloudy or rainy weather, nighttime, outdoor, indoor, literally just always. You can also download some of these clips for free, so you can color grade along while watching this video. Let me first show you my timeline settings and my color space settings. So we go here to the gear icon. In color management, I have color science to Davinci RGB, timeline color space, wide gamut intermediate, and output color space Rec 709A. I'm not going too depth into these things. I'm just going to show you my settings. This is if you are using a MacBook. If you don't use Mac, you can use the Gamma 2.4. And if you want, you can actually set current settings as default presets. So this stays like this. If we go to Davinci Resolve Preferences, this is important for Mac users. Make sure in general, use Mac display color profiles for viewers that this is selected. Otherwise, your export will look different than your preview right here. It will look more washed out. I've been there, didn't know what was the problem. This is gonna fix it. So we hit save. Now for the node tree here, for the nodes section, this looks super crazy, but it's actually super simple. And since I'm using this workflow, I enjoy color grading. So I'm gonna show you node by node how you can recreate this. If you start from scratch, you can hit Option S a few times to just make new serial nodes. Or if you want a shortcut to success, you can simply get the power grade. I will drop a link in the description and you can just drop it in here. The choice is yours. Let's get started. I'm going to turn off all the nodes. I'm going to select them and hit Shift D. This way I can show you node by node and also in the order that I use them. So let's start with the color space transform. I'm gonna reset the node, so we start from scratch, and here we are going for color space transform and drop it onto your node. Input color space is S gamut 3 cine S-log 3 for me. This can also be different if you use Panasonic or Canon or another camera. This is your camera setting. Then for the output color space, we are using Davinci wide gamut here and Davinci intermediate. That's it for the color space transform. Then I'm moving over to the saturation node, reset node. Then we go to the RGB mixer node. I'm gonna set the red to 2, the green to 2, and blue to 2. Then I'm moving over to the LUT, not selling you a LUT. This is simply built in inside Davinci Resolve, so I'm going to reset it. Right click, LUT, film looks, and the D65. Now it looks too cold. Let's fix it right now. These 3 nodes, once they are there, I actually never touch them. Then I go to white balance. I'm going to reset it. Then we go to chromatic adaptation and I'm gonna drop it in. Then I'm going to set this to color temperature, and with the Kelvin slider, when I want it warmer, I drag it to the right, and I want it colder, I will drag it to the left. I'm gonna set it for now at around 8000. We can always come back and change this. Now we're gonna fix the exposure. I'm gonna reset it. Usually I start with bringing up the HDR wheel to bring back some exposure. And then I will bring down the highlights in the primary log wheels. And then I will go to the S-curve node and make a simple S-curve, a dot in the middle, a dot here and a dot here. And then I will go back to my exposure node and push up some exposure and bring down the midtones. Something like this. So here I play with HDR, exposure, midtones, and highlights. So here we can actually bump it up a little bit, and then we already have something that looks like this. It's not finished yet, but we are getting there. So here, playing with your midtone sections, if you lower your midtones, you will bring back that nice and dense color in my experience, which always looks good. So let's move over for a moment. We can always come back to the exposure settings later, which is something I usually do. Then here I will tweak some colors. Here we will add some masks, and here we will add some effects if you want to. Here we actually have a compound node. If you double click, you will open the compound node. What is a compound node? A compound node is actually a set of nodes brought into one node. So for example, if I want these to be a compound node, I will show you why I do this a little bit later. For the sake of this video, I will decompose this so you can recreate it. But let me clean up the timeline a little bit. Oops, I accidentally disconnected. So this is what this compound node looks like. So this is compound, this is decompound, or how would you call this? Decompose, actually. You can just create, right click, add parallel mixer, which is this little buddy here. Then you can just connect it like this, for example, like so. And then you can add, right click, add a serial node. Here you can then add another connector. You can connect it, add another connector, and then you can add another parallel mixer. And that's exactly how you create this sequence right here. Let me just go back. So we have decomposed it. What do I do here? Here I tweak certain colors, for example, to make the color of the car pop a little bit more. So for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna create this compound node here, and you can label it. We named it colors. There we go. So we double click, and then here we have the structure that we have just built. So let me delete them or reset the nodes. I'm gonna start with the car, and usually what I do is I go to the color slicer section here, and here you can see this cyan, for example. I want to kind of fix the cyan colors right here. So it actually already looks good, so I'm not gonna do too much. I might actually just decrease it even just a little bit. Here, for example, I want to slightly fix the red. See, you can go up and down and see what looks good. So the color actually looks good. And if you want to add some saturation here, you can bring it upwards. Or if it has too much saturation, for example, with grass, you can bring it down. But this looks good. Also, for example, I do this for sometimes the sky. But here, it looks good. And I'm gonna exit the compound node here. Now I'm going slightly back to exposure, and I still want to bring down the highlights just a little bit more. And if you have a lot of reflection, for example, you can go to the HDR and you can go to the highlights and slightly bring them down. So as you can see, just a little bit. So then we go over to the masks section. This is where we draw masks or gradients to draw more attention towards the car. So this is on, this is off. Again, we have built a similar node structure here. So let me turn it on, double click to open. So here I have a vignette, which will darken the outside part of the image to draw more attention towards the car. Here we have a gradient, which is called this line here. It will darken everything below. And usually I do this to, again, draw a little bit more attention towards the car. And here I have a few other ones. If you want to use them, you can. I don't always use them, but here, for example, I use it to bring a little bit exposure back to the rims. So let me turn them off and show you how it's done. I'm gonna reset all the nodes. So I'm gonna start with the vignette. We go to the power window here, and then I'm gonna click the circle. You can change the shape, and then you can soften it out, and I'm gonna reverse it. Otherwise it will darken only the inside. We go back to our primary wheels here, and then I'm gonna change the offset. I'm gonna make it a little bit exaggerated so you can see what is going on. So it will darken the outside part. You can always change the location, for example here on the car, but I'm gonna make it less aggressive. I'm gonna of course soften it out and make it a little bit bigger. And usually I set it to somewhere here, and then you can see before and after, before and after. You can make this however you want, how aggressive you want, you can choose. For the gradient, we go back to the window section and we're gonna hit here gradient. This is called gradient. Then I'm gonna go back, change the offset, but as you can see, we have to flip it. Something like this. And you can soften it out. As you can see, now it's very strong. And like this, we soften it out. And again, I'm gonna lower it just a little bit more. And here for the rims are a bit dark. They can use a little bit of extra punch, let's say. I'm gonna make again a window, match it to the rims, soften a little bit less. And then what I'm gonna do here, because we have a moving image and I want it to be exactly on the rim, we go to the tracker window and track it back and forth. And then instead of making it darker, I'm going to the HDR wheel and I'm gonna bump it up. So that's what it looks like before and after. We don't want to overdo this. And then I'm gonna hit Command copy and I'm gonna paste it here. And I'm gonna, of course, move to the other wheel. And again, I'm gonna track it back and forth. So that's with and without. So if we exit our compound node, before, after, before and after, of course you can always go back and change everything you want later. Here we have some effects. Let me open the compound node here. Here we have the glow, which is a simple glow effect from Davinci Resolve. So what I did here was to add the glow effect, make a power window, as you can see here, as we did recently for the other one. And then I just change the location. So it just softly makes the golden glow here. And I just changed the color to gold. That's it for this effect. For the halation, which is the simple halation effect, again built in inside Davinci Resolve. What this does is it will create this golden reddish glow. So if we bring the saturation up, you can see what's happening here. It's creating this nice glow effect. Of course, we don't want it too much. If you hit set, it will bring back your image fit to the screen. And if you want to see the glow alone, this is actually the change. So here is nothing, this is too much, so somewhere in the middle, and you can just play around with the settings yourself. I'm gonna keep it as is. Before, after, it's just a little bit, but for now, I'm actually just gonna keep it off. And this is actually a popular effect these days. I'm not gonna use it, but I'm gonna show you. So this is simply radial blur dropped onto the node. And again, we used the power window here. What this does is it will create this blur effect. As you can see, of course, we don't want it too strong. We just want it subtle, if you even want it. And if you go to the center position, if you make it to the maximum, you can change the center. So for example, if your subject is more to the right, you can change its location. And then you go back. Then here we created this other compound node. We already made the saturation and the LUTs. I'm gonna use the blacks here, the blacks node, to actually clean up my black. So for example, if you look at the rim here, which is black, the wheel, now it's more bluish, and now it's actually deeper and cleaner black. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go to the color picker. We select black. You can see black is selected. You can always tweak the luminance and saturation just a little bit, but for me this looks good. Then we go to the curves here and we go to saturation versus saturation. Gonna pick or drop a dot here and bring down the saturations in the dark areas. So that will decrease the saturation in the blacks. It might not be a huge difference on this image, but you can see it has a blue tint, and now the blue tint is gone. Here there's not too much blacks where it's very visible, but in certain images you will see that the difference is crazy. And then we have our sharpen node. If you want to bring back that little bit of sharpening, let's reset the node. That is done here in the blur section, and you drop it to 0.47. Don't make it too much because then it looks like shit. And this is adding blur. And if you want to know how I film and edit cars for clients, make sure to watch this video next because I break down every single step.